On Friday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time is when stop and take stock of what's going on. So if you're an actor, if you're a freelancer, if you are someone who's running a theater company or an improv troupe or a dance school, consider this your time where you can stop and just take stock of what you learned this week. So that's what we do here at 2 o'clock. We ask you, what did you learn this week? So that's the question. What did you learn this week? So I'm going to go through and share with you some things that I learned this week. I'm Annie Schiffman. I'm the founder of Downstage Media. And at Downstage Media, we help to give actors, anyone who's sort of overwhelmed by social media, a plan of what to post. So what I'll be talking about today for WLTW is what I learned this week in terms of social media, theater, and kind of how you can use all that together. But of course, leave your message down below, your comment of what you learned this week as well. And if you don't know exactly what you learned or you haven't had a chance to think of it, then just post something later on and use the hashtag WLTW. Cool. So I thought I'd just sort of get started. So one thing I learned is that 85% of consumers trust online reviews just as much as they trust reviews from their friends and their fans. Their friends and their family. So here's what that means for you. If you have a show that you want people to go to, they are more likely to go to that show if that show has a lot of reviews. So of course there's a lot of different places that you can ask for reviews. And I put together for Downstage Media a little video about 3 different ways that this is super simple, super rudimentary, but just 3 different ways that you can ask for reviews on your Facebook page. And so that way you can start getting some of that social proof along there, so that way people who go onto your Facebook page will see how many reviews you have, and with that social proof, buy some tickets to your next show, right? So that's what you want. So ask for Facebook videos, or ask for Facebook reviews. That is a helpful thing that I learned this week. But of course, what did you learn this week? Leave it below in the comments. Another thing to know is how-to videos. So this is another way that you can get somebody to actually purchase a ticket. Think about this in terms of your website. So if you want people to buy your tickets, maybe create a little how-to video or make a blog post. Because you and I both know that, yes, theoretically there's a website that you go to and you buy your ticket, but you and I both know that there are plenty of times that people would be like, oh, well, I went to the website, but I wasn't really sure and I didn't exactly know, and so then I didn't buy my ticket. So what do I do again? And then that person who was ready to buy a ticket didn't actually buy a ticket, or didn't, if it's not buying tickets, maybe it's something else for you. Maybe it's buying your book. Maybe it's signing up for that class. Whatever it is, I recommend creating a very simple how-to video and embedding that right on the site at point of purchase. And I highly recommend using a new program. This is something I learned this week. A program called Snagit. Snaggit. I'm 90% sure that's how it's spelled. Go to downstage.media/blog though, because that's where I put all the notes from this on here. So I'll make sure that it's up on there right now. But yes, so that's the idea. Is you want to have a video of how people can easily buy the thing or do the thing or whatever it is that you want them to do. Just break it down very simply and then show them how to do it, make a video, embed it on the site, boom. All of a sudden it just became that much easier for people to purchase a ticket or for people to sign up for your class or whatever it is. Let me know in the comments what is sort of the step that you usually like people to take. So yeah, anything that seems like a little bit complicated, if it's something simple like click on this button and then all of a sudden the form pops up for you to, for somebody to sign up for your email newsletter or something like that, okay, I don't think we need a how-to video on that. But you and I both know there is something that you ask your audience to do, and an audience member will come back at you and say, oh, I was going to, but then right? We know that happens. Okay, finally, controls and variables. Okay, so I talk about this a lot, which is the idea of having a checklist, like something that you do every single time before you do something. But what I learned this week is you really have to be diligent about using those checklists, because you want to figure out when you change something, how is that change working? Does that help you or does that not help you? So, for example, a couple of our clients did Facebook Lives. They do a monthly Facebook Live, and so they did their Facebook Lives at a different time. One of them usually does it in the afternoon. They did it in the evening. One of them usually does it in the evening. They did it in the afternoon. And because there were some things that weren't exactly the same from each time, we weren't quite sure, well, what was it that made the difference, right? So I recommend having your checklist that you do every single time, your action plan, whatever you call it, and then do that every single time. Just be super, 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 super diligent about it. That way, when you switch it up a little bit, you'll know how that affected what you did, right? Does that make sense? So go to downstage.media/blog and you'll get all of the show notes from today. And then join us next week at 2 o'clock on Friday, 2 o'clock Eastern time on WLTW, and start thinking on Fridays, like, what did you learn this week? So that way we can all collectively learn from one another. Sound good? Great. I can't wait to hear what you learned. Share it. Use the hashtag WLTW, and we'll just keep learning from each other. See you next week at 2 o'clock.